Okay, Melinda, this is a very, very good start. Love the final logo. Really do. Fantastic job. It looks gorgeous. Really nice work. Okay, so let's go through your style guide. Let's see what we got. So you've got, let me see, let me back off that a little bit. Whoops. Okay, so page 1, page 3. Let me see, how am I going to do this? Okay, here's how. Okay, I see what we're doing here. Okay, so got your logo, introduction, table of contents. Great job. Let's jump over to your introduction. You've got your inspiration, your introduction. Fantastic job. Give a little background on the company. Great job there. Jump right into brand colors. Outstanding. One thing I want to mention is you're saying bright red and dark brown, but boy, that is darn close to black. So if you want to say dark brown, I might consider lightening or changing that up a little bit so that it's obviously a brown. Because right now, actually, to be completely honest with you, I had to go into Illustrator and duplicate these colors. And it is indeed dark, 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 dark brown. So you might, I don't know, I mean, consider either, it sure looks black. I'm saying either just go black or maybe lighten that up a little bit to just to ensure that it's not a mistake. Because right now, the first thing I thought is, well, that's a mistake. That's definitely black. So, be intent, show intent and intentionally show your colors instead of maybe trying to, you see what I'm saying? I mean, like, you don't want your viewer to think that that's a mistake. And it certainly looks as though it is. So that's as close to black as you can get without being black. Typography, great job here. One thing I would recommend here is in your description and in your showing your typeface, I would bring your logo right over here and just dissect the logo and show the parts of the logo that are in that typeface. So in other words, if George Mason's in that typeface, just take that part out of the logo, put it right there, and say, I'm using Font Railway for the George Mason part of the logo, and then using that Microsoft Talou for the Wellness Center part of the logo, and then show that right there. Okay. Then logo design. You talk about the logo design. That's fantastic. Great job there. Now this is the part where this gets a little bit funny. This is great. I mean, you show where to place the logo, etc. That's fantastic. But there's a couple of things I want to draw your attention to. You want to give the actual size of the logo itself. So in other words, from the top of the M right there to the bottom baseline, just whatever that size is right there, give that size. Okay, so that's the size that the logo is allowed to be represented at in this specific instance of the letterhead. Okay, then you would say, see right here, I want to zoom in here, but see right here, you're saying that top is 1.2 inches, but it would be from right here. It would be from the top of the M to the edge of the page. Okay, conversely, the logo itself would take on this kind of a square. Okay, so those would be the dimensions of the logo itself. Okay, so you wouldn't say that you're going 2 inches to this point right here. You would say whatever this point is right here. Okay, from the edge of the logo to the edge of the page. Conversely, right over here, wherever the edge of that logo is to the edge of that page is what you would say. Okay, so in essence, you would have this distance from the left margin to the beginning of the logo plus the width of the logo plus the distance to the right margin of the page. That's all going to come out to equal 8.5 because it's an 8.5 by 11 page size. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Definitely, that's got to make sense. Okay, and then this is good. This is good. But one thing I'm not understanding is that you're saying, okay, this is centered, but you're saying that it's 3 inches from the left, but 3.4 inches from the right. So that doesn't make sense. If it's centered, it's centered. It should be the equal distance from the right and the left, right? That makes sense, right? Okay, so make sure you make those adjustments. Let's take a look at the business card. This is good. It's a good description here. It shows you know what you're doing. But again, you've got the same thing. Remember, that logo is going to be that size. So you would go from the edge of that logo where the M is to the edge of the business card. Likewise, from the G to the edge of the business card. Now, a business card is 3.5 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so it would look something like that. Whoops, sorry. A business card is 3.5 inches by 2 inches. So a business card, I don't know what. Okay, when I let go of this, it's gonna, okay, so roughly that would be the dimensions of a business card. Now, if you pick up a business card off your desk or out of your wallet or something, take a look at it, and you'll see that it's 3.5 inches wide, 2 inches high. This doesn't represent that size. Okay, you're saying right here that the your left is 1 inch and your right is 5 inches. That's 6 inches. Well, a business card is only 3.5 inches wide. So what you'll have to do is, again, just like the letterhead, you'll take the width, and don't forget, in the business card, you have to tell how the width and the height of the logo. And that would be, of course, from the top of the M, whoops, the top of the M and the sides of the N and the G down to the baseline of the wellness center. So that would be the dimension of your logo, okay? So the width of that plus the distance between the left margin and the edge of the page, the distance between the right side of the logo and the right side of that page will all come out to equal 3.5 inches. Okay, and then the bottom, top to bottom is 2 inches. So make sure that you address your distances accordingly. Okay. And finally, the one thing I would recommend, these look great, by the way, good job. The one thing I would recommend on a business card is I would never put a border on a business card. And the reason is because it's just too difficult to trim and to bleed, and it kind of confines the information of the business card itself. So I recommend a clean edge on the business card. The borders, I recommend not using a black border or framing the business card, as it were. I recommend going just with a straight white, clean edge there. That will reduce a lot of production problems, because if this isn't trimmed right, it's going to be a real problem. And that's inherent in whenever you try to frame up a business card, that's going to definitely be trimmed and cause production problems. Okay, so those would be my recommendations moving forward. Great job getting this together. And the thing about the Word document, don't worry about it, I guess. I mean, I'm fine with you submitting in PDF. That's fine. It's my preference. So, the Word doc, it's just really difficult to try to design in Word. I think we've all found that out at one point or another. All right, so any questions, comments, concerns, or other, let me know. Great job. Thanks, Melinda.